I call it pantomiming, but really it's about communicating with your full body. It's showing people what you want to have happen a lot of the time. This is part of this half, pantomiming. So I might say, are you left or right-handed? I'm left-handed. Okay, what I'd like for you to do is place your left hand out of the way, and I'd like you to place your right hand flat on the table. Now I'm showing the person exactly what I want them to do. I'd like for you to place your right hand flat on the table. And I've spread my fingers out and I've put the hand exactly as it needs to be. Now if I want their hand flat on the table in that position, I go, I'd like to put your hand flat on the table. Now actually get your palm on, could you spread the fingers out a bit more? Isn't this elegant a way of doing it? But if you go, I'd like to put your right hand flat on the table. And as I'm doing this, some of you can see this more easily than others, I'm actually going flat on the table. I'm miming pushing down slightly. So I'm miming this sort of solid. If you were testing if something was solid, you'd do this, wouldn't you? You'd go like this. So I'm miming testing solidity, because I want to get that whole idea of solidity in here. So you put that flat on the table. So I'm making that so clear, not only with my words, but with my gestures, with my body language as well. So that's an example of how I might use pantomime. Another example of how I might use pantomime in communicating with my whole body. If you see the video on the website of me doing the thing with the girl, there's that point where she's got her hand on her head, and I've put my hand up, if I remember rightly, and I'm going, really try like this, and I'm imitating what I want to see. I'm not saying explicitly, look at me and copy me, but I'm imitating the kind of, you can really try and pull that off, and I'm imitating the struggle, like this. And showing that to them. It's another way, another really powerful way of suggesting something. It's so much more powerful than going, try and pull it off, try and pull it off. You know, when you're there, you're doing it with your whole body. It makes it so much more powerful. And this is the other thing as well, it totally changes your voice. It totally changes how you use your voice. I know when I do trance work with people, they've got their eyes closed. They can't see me. I'm still pantomiming away to them. Because if I want to emphasise something, I'll go, and you can feel that now coming in, or whatever it might be. If I'm doing it, it animates my whole voice as I'm doing it, which is, I think, a really important thing. So it's not just what you're showing with your body language, but it totally affects your tonality. If you're trying to sort of communicate, struggle, as they're trying to pull it off, if you try and kind of slouch like this and go, try and pull that off. Try, it's really hard to do. It's really hard to get the struggle into your voice. And this is another area where pantomiming comes on. So if I'm going to go, try, really try and pull that, try has got, I'm putting the struggle into my body as I say it. And this is something I learned from an Canadian mentalist and hypnotist called Kreskin. The amazing Kreskin. And if you see Kreskin, if you get someone's name stuck on their tongue, on the tip of their tongue, he'll go, try and say your and he'll mimic it like that, like he's trying to say try. And I learned this from Kreskin as well. If somebody's struggling with something, mirror it back and accentuate that struggle. So if you do stick somebody's name and you're saying, try and say your name, and they're going, you mirror it back, do exactly what they're doing, but do it even more. Not like, I'm mocking you, taking the piss kind of way, but if you mirror it and accentuate it, there's that whole kind of mirror neurons thing. I'm not a big neurology head or anything like that. But people tend to sort of copy and mirror, so it's like matching and accentuating that. So there are so many ways that you can use your body, and I highly recommend using yourself, using your entire self. So this is the mindset I have if I'm doing hypnosis. It's not just the words I say. This is one of the reasons that scripts, they miss out so much. It's not just the words I say. There is an experience that's going on, and you want to be part of that experience with every fibre of your being. Not just kind of be aloof, trying to create an experience from a distance. I've got a real thing about this, and again, it's how people use voice tone. I've seen people doing trance work going, feel that wonderful feeling now spreading throughout your whole body. That's right, just continue to feel that really incredible feeling. And it doesn't, it's not communicating the kind of energy you want to it. You say, feel that wonderful feeling now. And if I want to say wonderful feeling like that, I can't do it without moving my hand that way. I can't do it without moving my body that way. So if I'm working with a client who's got their eyes closed, I'm still going, as you feel that wonderful feeling. And I have to move my body like that in order to communicate like that with my voice. So this is analogic, non-verbal communication on every level. How you use your body affects your voice tone. And if their eyes are open, with the kind of stuff we're doing now, obviously you can show so much of what you want to happen. You can show so much. And the other ways of doing it, I talked earlier on about wanting to get that sense of curiosity. And I do this a lot by having quizzical expressions on my face. Again, I have to get into state, it's a method acting thing. I go, that's a weird thing, isn't it? How is I'm doing this kind of thing? You see me doing this a lot, and I'm there in a genuine state of curiosity and doing this whole thing with my entire physiology. And I think that's such a powerful thing that many hypnotists miss out on. Do it 100% yourself, and that means 100% body and mind. Do it and it will increase and amplify the results. Or one last little bit of pantomime, which I do regularly, because obviously I'm a magician, so I often do little flourishes and things. Now you remember when I did the hand stick thing on you earlier, and the hands were stuck? Do you remember how I did the release? I went, because your hands will stay stuck until they just release. So I put that flourish and a click. And this, I'm communicating that flowing apart, that releasing. I'm communicating with my fingers. And the click creates a moment. You can use finger clicking a lot to create moments. As that gets more and more stuck, sticking, more and more fully sticking. And each one of those clicks creates a moment. And again, it's that kind of analogic communication, that non-verbal communication. But it can be really powerful. I'm not talking about really triggering well space. Yeah, you can use it when I click my fingers, this will happen or whatever. I tend to use it just to emphasise those moments.
More like you're doing that and associate with what you're speaking, the locking.
That's it, yeah. I tend to associate that with any kind of amplification. So it's another way of using a non-verbal thing. I use little kind of flourishes, bang, releases when I'm releasing something or giving something back to somebody with their hand or something. So another way I use pantomime.